Yo, what is good, people? It's OJ here, and this video is probably going to be a little bit controversial with some of you guys, especially considering the dedicated fan base I know that likes the Wii U, plays the Wii U, and sometimes gets a little antsy about Nintendo NX talk, speculation, rumors, blah blah blah, all of that. But I do feel this has to be said because I haven't really heard anybody else say this. So there's definitely two sides to this whole thing. There's people who love talking about Nintendo NX, there's people who hate talking about Nintendo NX, and there's people that are kind of indifferent and they're in the middle. But really the two factoring sides, especially on PlayerEssence.com, like to go back and forth about whether we should be talking about it or not. I mean, I've heard people make posts saying like, geez, can we just play Wii U, and can we just wait till Nintendo reveals the system before we start talking about it, making speculation videos and all this other stuff. But here, I just have to say this. The reason why that people are talking about Nintendo NX so much more than Wii U and Nintendo 3DS, it's Nintendo's fault that people are talking about Nintendo NX more than Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. It's 100% Nintendo's fault. And not only is it their fault, that's what they wanted to do. This is exactly what they wanted to do. Look, I understand a lot of people think Nintendo's stupid. A lot of people think that Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing half the time, and that might be true for some things. But this talk and this speculation and this hype and all this that the Nintendo NX is generating, really based on nothing that Nintendo has given us, is all Nintendo's doing. They wanted this to happen. You know why they wanted this to happen? They want this form of mystique and surprise and anticipation for the Nintendo NX that the Wii U never got. And I'll go into this and I'll explain exactly why. So back when Nintendo revealed the Nintendo NX, we have to talk about why they revealed it and what they said. So when they first revealed it, they revealed it just because they didn't want people to think that with the mobile announcement, because it was at the DNA mobile announcement with the late and great Satoru Iwata, with the DNA president, that they announced that they're going to be doing smartphone games. And they didn't want people to think that they've lost their passion because of Wii U sales, that they've lost their passion for dedicated hardware, for dedicated video game machines. So they announced the NX. Cool. Nothing else needs to be said. They said that, they got that out there, all right? Going into E3, Nintendo said we're not going to be talking about NX and we're not going to be talking about mobile. Cool, that's all you needed to say. There was nothing else that needed to be said after that. There wasn't press members saying, oh, well, Nintendo's going to pull a mobile over there at E3, or Nintendo's going to do this or that or anything like that. There wasn't any of that, all right? So there was no need. There was zero need to mention the Nintendo NX at E3. You should have had a gag order on all of your developers, on all of your producers, staff, everyone. Nobody should say anything about the Nintendo NX at E3. Then what happens at E3? Reggie Fils-Aimé says this.
In our new dedicated game platform, codenamed NX, which we'll tell you more about in 2016.
Why? What is there the need to tease your next system? Nobody was talking about mobile stuff at E3. Nobody was talking about anything else but what Nintendo was going to show for Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. And Nintendo themselves, Reggie Fils-Aimé himself, teases the Nintendo NX. Why? Because they want people talking about it. That's the only reason why. They want people talking about it. They want it in the back of people's minds to talk about Nintendo NX. They want people to build the hype and anticipation. It's basically marketing for them. Just basically stealth marketing for them. They don't really have to say anything. They just said, hey, we're going to have the Nintendo NX in 2016. Get ready. And people wonder why people are trying to talk about the Nintendo NX so much. Well, it's because Nintendo put that thought in there. They put that thought in there, and on top of that, you have to look at the current releases for Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. Let's just be honest here. At E3, Nintendo came out onto stage. What did they show? Did they show new Zelda footage? No. Did they show Twilight Princess? No. Did they show Pokken Tournament? No. Did they show any other games that they have further down in development for 2016? Like outside the first half? No. They showed Yarn Yoshi and they showed Star Fox a lot and Mario Maker. They showed games that we kind of already knew about that were coming. And it's true that the Treehouse Live did have other games like Fatal Frame and Shin Megami Tensei, but still, it was during their main event, their main show, that they didn't show those, and they dropped a hint about the Nintendo NX. Nintendo as a company rehearses these things vigorously. They go over this stuff. There's no way that if they didn't want people talking about the Nintendo NX and they didn't want people thinking about it, there's no way they wouldn't have said, oh, in 2016, you're going to be able to see this Nintendo NX. You're going to hear more information. There's no way. There was no need. And look at the release schedule, guys. Their release schedule is so sparse. Yes, they'll drop some games in the holiday, but throughout the summer, they didn't really drop anything. And then you have the beginning of the year. There's January, February, and all the way till March. It's not till Twilight Princess, which is a remake of a game that we knew that was coming. So that's the whole thing, guys. Like, it's one thing to be upset if people are just like, if Nintendo didn't say anything, or if Nintendo didn't lead us on or say anything to make us talk about the Nintendo NX, but it's another thing for Nintendo to purposefully put that out there so people can speculate and do that when there was no need to even say it, and then get mad when people are making videos. That's exactly what Nintendo wants. So all this speculation that you see, videos that people are making, that is Nintendo's doing, and that's what they wanted. So I don't think there's really any reason to be mad about it, because I know a lot of people get heated when they talk about Nintendo NX and stuff. And listen, I know some of you cats got backlogs and you guys have other games to play, but this is the video game industry, man. This is all based about like what's coming out next, what's coming out next, what's coming out next. And that's just how the industry works. That's how money keeps on flowing. And with Nintendo, with the Wii U really just having such the sparsest lineup of games, having really no major third-party support, it's only natural people are going to think about other things to talk about when your current system isn't putting out enough games. Now, does the Wii U have amazing games on it? Sure it does. It has amazing games. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is probably my favorite game this whole generation, and I play it religiously. I've almost got 1,000 hours of actual playtime in that game. Heck, don't get me wrong, Xenoblade Chronicles X is amazing, Bayonetta 2 is amazing, but at the same time, not everybody's going to have the same taste in all the games, and if you don't have that constant library of games just coming in, whether the third-party games are great in your opinion or not, that doesn't matter. It's about the variety to a lot of people. If you don't have that and you drop in hints about your next system that can possibly be as powerful as the competition or more powerful than the competition, and Nintendo's working as far as to get third-party support, you got third-party developers over here saying, oh yeah, we like to work with Nintendo NX, we like to do this, blah blah blah. You're always going to get speculation. You're going to get people talking about that, and that's what Nintendo needs. That's what Nintendo needs going into this generation, because you got to look at the sales, you guys. You got to look at, and it always goes back to that. You got to look at the sales. The Wii U is doing what it does. Nintendo, I think they've made a conscious effort to just say, hey, you know what? Maybe we didn't try as hard as we could with Wii U as far as certain things go, but we've got to make sure that our next system is successful. It's going to sell what it sells, and that's really where this comes from, and that's really where it comes from, man. I think that they have decided to move on, obviously, and they are developing Nintendo NX games. That's pretty much a given at this point. But really what it comes down to for me, what it comes down to is that Nintendo did this on purpose. Nintendo definitely did this on purpose to get the people talking about Nintendo NX. And I think Zelda is also the biggest indicator. For me, it's like, well, why didn't you talk about Zelda at E3? They didn't really give a good excuse why they didn't talk about Zelda. They had all this amazing footage apparently, and they didn't talk about that. They didn't talk about that. Is it because it's an NX title? Is it because it's going to be Wii U and Nintendo NX? Like, what's the deal with that? So those are the type of things that I'm talking about Nintendo could have done to easily avoid NX talk. Like, it's like, why even mention Nintendo NX? You should have just said, hey, we got Zelda. Here, look at some footage. We got amazing footage. Check this out. Nobody would have said a word. We would have said a word about NX. If you said we got amazing footage of Zelda, even with the delay that they announced beforehand, if you would have said we got some amazing footage of The Legend of Zelda Wii U, here it is, look at this horse, look at this riding over here, look at these new gameplay features, I'm telling you, not one word about Nintendo NX. Not one word if they just dropped that footage, but it is what it is. It is what it is, and Nintendo did that on purpose. So that's my thought on the whole matter. What do you guys think? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Once again, I will just state this just so I can make it very clear. I am not hating on the Wii U. I am not hating on, I'm not saying that it's dead or no one plays or anything like that. All I'm saying is that Nintendo knew exactly what they were doing when they talked about the NX, and even with their developers, they knew exactly what they're doing. Because Tanabe, the Metroid dude, when he was asked like, hey, why isn't there a Metroid for Wii U? He's like, well, we've already announced our next system. It would take a couple of years to make it, so it's probably going to be on the next system that we make, which would be the Nintendo NX. Reggie Fils-Aimé said, hey, we already publicly stated that we're working on our next system, blah, 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 our next home console. Like, you had developers and their own people talking about it. So, I mean, in my opinion, that just shows that Nintendo wants people to do that. So, basically, in conclusion of this video, man, I'm just like, if someone's talking about the NX or if someone's going to make videos on it, there's nothing wrong with that, because that builds anticipation. That builds hype. Even though we don't know really anything about it, let people speculate, let people talk about it. That's better than sitting there and having nothing. Even though Nintendo hasn't said much about the system or really anything about the system outside of a few couple like quotes and stuff like that with Satoru Iwata did. Really, there's nothing wrong with people getting people hyped. There's nothing wrong with the anticipation. And trust me, Nintendo's going to need every ounce of it, because there's stiff competition out there with Microsoft and with Sony. So Nintendo's going to need all of that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like I said before, I would love to hear your thoughts on the whole matter. Alright, so that basically wraps it up for this video. Hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And also subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and we will see you for the next one. Peace.